And there was one instance where we're in the locker room in Oklahoma City or Tulsa where Watts came back and ordered me to get down on all fours. He wanted to show me how to work a kick, he said, into the ribs. Well, I'd already heard the story that what he does is he gets the talent down into a disadvantageous position, and then he doesn't work the kick. He really throws it in and tries to break your ribs. And I told him that if he wanted me to go down on all fours, then he was going to have to put me down. And everybody in the locker room was really stunned. And then later, of course, after he had left and didn't take me up on my challenge, Eddie chastised us that, you're not going to go very far in the business if you continue to do that. And Steve didn't speak up. And we sort of had a number of spoken agreements up and down the road, figuring out what we were going to do, that we were going to stand back to back in this business, that if we were going to do it, we were going to do it together as a team. And he didn't say anything. He sort of sided with Eddie in that. And we'd had some blowouts anyway, because even starting in Tennessee, we were both power guys, but I was more of a power guy. And Steve was a great athlete, but he didn't have the working ability to utilize his athleticism yet, like he later came to be able to do. So the talent didn't want to take chances in him doing the more athletic stuff because he didn't know how to work yet. The power stuff was more precise. They knew that they were getting into. You pick a guy up over the head, you throw him, they know, that's the bump you take. And he got insecure a number of times because I was always the power guy. And at the time, he wasn't able to utilize his athleticism. So whenever they did the power stuff, they would always say for me to do it.
Right. When you decided to leave, what was his reaction?
I don't know. He was probably a little relieved, Now he could have Eddie all to himself, and he could be one of the boys with the rest of the gang all by himself. And
were you upset when you left the territory and found out that Watts and Jim Ross, who was the commentator at the time, they were burying you as not as tough as Sting, and Sting stuck it out while you had disappeared?
I never heard it.
Never heard it. They actually did it on the
businesses of work, that's what they do with everybody.
Right. When you guys split up and you went your separate ways, was there ever a plan maybe down the line that you guys would get back together again and work together again, or was that was it?
No, the plan then was really just to survive.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't any plan about a reunion down the road, Let's get the Blade Runners back together or anything.
Right. Were you surprised Sting went on to become as big of a name as he did?
Not surprised, but I wasn't. At the time, I didn't give much thought to what he's going to do or how he's going to succeed in the business. I concentrated more on what I needed to do to succeed.